All right, welcome back. Welcome to Refining Entries. Welcome to the next episode. And if you are still watching this episode after all of the previous ones, good job. You are really, really dedicated to understand the strategy. I believe this should be the last video of the Refining Entries series because we covered a lot of trades. So I believe that this should be the last video. And if you still have some questions about the entries or you are not completely confident in finding the trades, make sure to first of all rewatch all of the episodes. And then if you still have some questions, always contact us via the email, and basically we can schedule maybe a call, maybe a chat, whatever, to answer all of your questions so you are fully confident. Okay, so in this last episode I will show you Euro USD once again, January of 2022. And to be honest, this is a good example where the currency, the Euro USD pair, I would say it's just not my style. I used to backtest and I used to even trade a bit this currency pair last year, very slightly in at 2020, but it's just not performing for me. I just don't find the optimal entries, and it's one of those currency pairs that I would not recommend to implement for your day-to-day trading for this strategy, even though it still made a 5% in January. And but it's just not a it's just still from my experience from last year for 2 years ago, basically all of that Euro USD trades is just not generating good profits. I would say it is still in profits because of the risk management and risk to reward, but eventually I wouldn't say it's the best pair. And as you can see, throughout January we had quite a lot of stop losses, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 losses in total out of 9 trades. So had quite a lot of losses, and we still managed to make 5% because we made free profits as far as I can see. So it's pretty good, but it's not the greatest. So let's go ahead and take a look at these trades. What happened here? Okay, I believe I can just stay in silent and you can go ahead and tell me everything what happened here. But because you're watching this, let me go through these trades just one more time. Session low, session high, London up on the first candle, breakout. Okay, we had a break. Now we need a retest and continuation. We had a retest here and a few more candlesticks of a retest. We didn't had any kind of a short signal. No candles. This candle is not below the EMAs, so this is why it is not a valid short signal. This candle is pretty much sitting just a pip or so below the EMA, but it's the candle itself. I mean, when looking at a big picture, you wouldn't even notice it too much. So I wouldn't classify this as a strong red candle. Now this is a good candle, but this is just a regular candle. Yes, it's below the EMAs, but I wouldn't classify this as a strong selling pressure forming to simply took a short. So it's better to wait one more candle instead of entering on a not so sure candle. Okay, next candle, boom, continuation. Exactly. So it's a nice strong green candle. As you can see, it's way more visible, it's way more valid visually than these few. And we had a break, we had a part of retest and continuation candle, so it's a long position, stop loss. I mean, it could be a little bit even smaller, somewhere right here maybe would be good enough, but well, we made it a bit of a bigger and eventually we had some push to the upside, a slight retrace, and then continuation towards the take profit area. So it's a fairly good one. And now we have some losses in a row. Okay, that's some spiky weekly price action, so most likely some fundamentals. What happened? Session high, session low. We had a retest and a break. Now we had a retest rejection and a break, sorry, and now we need a retest from above and continuation in order to go long. So what happened here? We had a break, a slight push, no longs here, then a reversal back below. So this candle is also a good enough candle for a short position. It's just, as you may know, I'm just not the biggest fan when you have one candle break and then one candle come back without any kind of a price action, just a bit of a below the session high as well, like in this case. Like if all of this mess would happen here and then we had an entry candle, then it's way more valid. In this case, I just decided to wait a few more candles, maybe 1, 2, 3, whatever candles it takes, rather than taking a bit of a riskier entry, because knowing Euro USD from my back experience is just not the best pair, so it's just better to be safe. And then a few candles later we had another confirmational candlestick, so this is why now I took the short. This is a valid short below the EMAs, below the session high after a failed break retest continuation, so it basically became a break and rejection eventually, and we had a nice strong red candle. So that's a short position, and eventually I believe these wicks were some fundamentals, some news related price action, and it's basically stopped us out, which is also okay because that happens. Next trade, another loss, fairly very good entry, actually very like a textbook entry, but not a textbook position itself. So we had a session high, session low, London, first candle break, retest, rejection. In other terms, this position became a rejection from the session low. Nice strong green candle above the EMAs, and after the session low being retested and rejected. So it's a beautiful long position here. Stop loss is also pretty big, I would say. It could be a bit lower, smaller, sorry. Somewhere right here would be good enough as well. But yeah, it is what it is. But basically we had no chances of achieving success here, because the moments after we entered the trade, it went sideways for a while, for a good few hours, and then eventually stopped us out. Next up, so we had one take profit, and now this is a third loss. So basically we are back at break even, and this is already 13th of January. So by the mid-month, you back at break even. So that's not the greatest signal for the pair. What happened here? Well, this is I wouldn't say it's a massively good entry. The candlestick is not that good. Now, shorting right here would be a good position. But, well, what happened? Session low, session high, London, break, retest, rejection, and kinda continuation. It's not massive. It's not a massively big green candle, but it's a green candle, nice body as well. In comparison to this mess right here, this is a solid continuation, but I wouldn't say it's the best. I mean, this candle, something like that right here, would be way better, way stronger. But well, we took the trade, and yeah, what happened? We had a few candlesticks of hope, and then big drop, and it closed below the EMAs, below the session high after the retest rejection, eventually becoming the rejection of the session high, and this would be a good short candlestick. But when you have already open position, you should not get involved into additional positions on the same currency pair. So we just had to skip this. But yeah, eventually it became bearish, and if you would skip this long and go short here, that would be a better solution, I would say that. But of course, it's easy to say when you see the future now. When you are here seeing this candle in real time, then the psychological effect is different, and you see, okay, this is a valid entry. We had a break, we had a retest, and we have continuation. I want to say kinda continuation because the candlestick itself is not like super visually exposing bullish pressure, but it's still a valid entry. So yeah. Okay, next up, 1% position. Maybe that's a bit more than a 1%, maybe 1.25 or so. But that's a very beautiful entry. Let's zoom in a bit. Session low, session high, London retest, break. So we need a retest continuation or rejection. Retest, retest, rejection. So it became a short position. Beautiful big red candle back below the EMAs, back below the session high after the failed retest continuation. So it's a rejection trade. We had a short here, and for the most part the position went extremely well. Then towards the US session started to retrace, drop again, retrace, drop again. So as you can see, the moves, the waves became smaller and smaller, and eventually by the end of the US session we had to manually close it because we don't keep positions overnight, and this is a solid 1.2%, I would say. So we should change that. Then we had another successful trade, pretty straightforward, and yeah, it's also one of those riskier positions for two reasons. Number one, this is the entry moments before the US session opens, so pretty much last minute entry, because the next candle after the entry was already US session. So it's a pretty risky way to execute, but possible because we're still within the window. The second reason why it's risky because this, what happened here, I classified as a breakout and this as a retest continuation. But to be honest, it's not, I wouldn't say this is a super valid short position, but because I believe the main reason why I was risking this is because it's not been a good month. So finding additional position, it's always good. And basically, yeah, this is a breakout by pip or two, which is in a way valid, but when you look at the common sense as a psychological part, it's better to avoid taking such positions when you have not a super clear break of the session low or session high. Like in this case, we have session low here, session high somewhere where we can't even see. For the most part, it's been super messy. The box of nothingness, like no price action right here. London as well, for the good few hours, we had completely mess. Then by a pip or two, a break, comeback, a retest, and then rejection. So in a way, continuation, sorry. So this would classify as a break, retest, retest, continuation. No bullish, no long signals here because we are not above the EMA. So as you can see, the EMAs are guarding us for a false entry very nicely here, and this is why the EMAs are here for. And here the defense was broken, kinda. Yeah, we had a strong bearish candle below the EMAs, below the session low after kinda a break retest continuation setup, but it went extremely well. As you can see, very straightforward. The reason why this happened within the US session is because for the most Asian session and most of the London session, we had a super slow day, very, very small movement. So the whole pressure combined and accumulated within the US session and eventually exploded here. So this was a solid position. But the entry candlestick is good, but this setup that you classify break retest, kinda kinda. Then followed by another loss. Once again, very good entry. It just happened. You can't do nothing about it. Session high, session low. London, first few candlesticks, nothing. Then strong push. Now that's a breakout. That's a break. Followed by retest, kinda retest, rejection, continuation. No shorts here. Once again, the EMAs are guarding us from a false short entry, and then eventually boom, continuation candle. So that's a break, that's continuation, this would classify as a retest. Back above the EMAs, back above the session high after it's being broken and retested. Nice strong green candle, beautiful long position. So, but what happened then after the entry? Pretty much immediate reversal, took us out and even came back above. One of those trades, it happens. Followed by another winning position. Once again, it's okay. I mean, that's better than the one I showed you 2 trades before. Session high, session low, first few candlesticks, retest, rejections all around, then boom, a break, retest, continuation. Simple, not super visually strong, but very valid. Break, retest, continuation. Nice big red candle below the EMAs after the session low was broken and retested. And pretty straightforward trade. Few candlesticks later, boom, big drop, and within the first part of the US session, take profit was achieved. And lastly, we ended the month with a loss. Once again, beautiful entry. Session low, session high, London, first candle breakout, followed by kinda just a green candle, then followed by a retest. Now we need continuation. Retest, continuation. No shorts here. There is nothing beautiful about this candle that I would say nice big red candle. Definitely not. Bullish continuation, back above the EMAs, back above the session high. Nice strong green candle, valid long position, but eventually it reversed and dropped below. This would be a nice short entry if you would miss, for example, this long and say, thanks God, I missed this long, but now it's providing a good short position. It's also valid, but if you have a long position here, then you should not even look at these shorts, even though they look good, and you would be in a profit right now. But yeah, I mean, that's I believe it. Yep, that's it for Euro USD. We can go through this trade as well because it's kind of end of US session, so it's a break-even trade. What happened here? Session high, session low, a good few hours of mess within London, then a break followed by some candles above the session high. We need a retest, continuation or rejection. We had a retest and we had a rejection candle, a valid in a way short candle, but eventually it went a bit up, a bit down, coming pretty close to our take profit, but eventually reversing back above, and by the end of US session we had to manually close it. That's also happens. So that's it for this episode. I believe it was beneficial as the last episode of Refining Entry, so make sure to rewatch these videos if you need. but by this time you should have a super clear understanding on how to find the entries. So thank you guys for watching, wishing you all the best for your future trading and backtesting. Make sure to backtest yourself, and I will see you on the next video.